What's up guys, Erroneous here, back with another Raid Shadow Legends video. And in today's video, I'm going to be pulling shards, but also doing it a free-to-play way when it comes to trying to go for this fusion for Champ Chase. So if you want to know how a free-to-play person would do it, then you need to watch this video. So let's get into it. Alright guys, so first things first. You're not a good saver. You don't save your shards very well. I, for one, this isn't even anything compared to other players that are free to play like myself in the game. There are tons of other free to play players that have saved way more ancient shards, void shards, primal shards, etc. All right. You know, you've got people like Eobard who saved 300 plus. You've got people like Boozer. You got people like Consistency. You know, tons of players that are free to play that save way more shards than me. Ways that you can save shards is by making sure you're viewing fusions, right? So fusions, this is actually helpful for Champion Chase, right? So if I go here, actually wrong location, the tournament. So Champion Chase tournament. And you can get champions by any means necessary. Shards, the market, campaign, etc. You can pull mystery shards. You can fuse champions or fragment champions that you've been saving up over time. This is the first place you're probably going to want to go. You're going to want to go ahead and fuse fragment champions if you don't want to spend any of your shards. And that way you can save as many shards as possible for future content for like the pull one, get one champion events. Those are very fun to do. They're exciting, especially when you get two champions. Like for one, I got a Duchess and another champion in a pull one, get one. Absolutely absurd. It was a Duchess and I think a Samson. You know, check out that video from way in the past. Absolutely absurd. Love doing those events. That's why if you want to hopefully have some patience and skip a 2x, 10x like is going on today, you can do that and save your shards for the pull one, get one. Now, what I will say is for any early game or mid game, if you're just looking to get a legendary champion, 2x events are going to be the best bang for your buck when it comes to getting a legendary, because you have a 12% chance rather than a 6% chance to get a legendary. So I do recommend pulling earlier game, mid game, late game, as you're getting later into the end game content and you're starting to save way more shards because you just don't need to pull them as often because you probably have a large roster. Then maybe you start skipping these 2x events. Now, some people even skip 2x events earlier game and they wait till pull one, get ones, or they just pull a few. Like you can try to limit yourself. So like, for example, if I need 2,500 points to get the max fragment reward, that means a sacred shard, or rather than not a sacred, a legendary champion pulled is 500 points, where a mythical is 1,000. That's pretty insane. Extremely unlikely, but that's a lot of points. A legendary though, 500 points each. An epic, 250 points each. Okay. For voids, it's 350 per epic and 650 per legendary. So what I want to do is I want to first start off by going to the fragments. I don't have any, unfortunately. I don't have any saved fragment champions. Then I come to here, Lady Mikage, right? So I've got 1, 2, 3, and 4. I can fuse right now, get an epic, which I'll do it right now. Now I could have saved this for CVC, but this will give me 250 points right off the bat. Okay, so keep this in mind. You've got this mythical fusion that you're going for. And if I wanted to fuse her, she's 1,000 points. I got lucky in the past, and I already pulled this champion, Kira the Watcher, and I've already pulled this champion as well in Tatsu. Okay, so I did get lucky by pulling both of them in the past, which is really nice. Now, what I will say though is I still have to upgrade Tatsu to level 60, Lockwane to level 50, and what is this guy's name? This guy is Weregren. I need to get him to level 50 as well. The other cool thing about this is that if I wanted to, I could go for her now. However, I do highly recommend for free-to-play players to hold off until you get the epics to fuse into those legendaries. So if, for example, like me, if you're like me and I already have the copies of those two legendaries, I want a second copy. So I'm going to want to hold off. But if I decided to go for it right now, I could save my resources, my shards, right? Because if I fused the mythical champion, it's 1,000 points. If I fused another epic, that's another 250. Or if I fused an epic like Broadmaw, that's another 250. So some people just stack up on Broadmaws or Relic Keepers, these champs here, right? So you can get Executioner from Hallowed Halls, you can get Templar from Vladimir Strait, and you can get Sorceress from Catacombs of Narbuk on normal or any of the stages, okay? So there are ways to do these fusions. It's just that you have to have the patience and you have to have the energy and resources to do it while you're waiting in between fusions. So unfortunately, I don't do that all the time, but I'm starting to look into doing that more often because it helps to min-max your resources for future events and tournaments and things like that, especially if you just want to save for the pull one, get one events. Especially if you want to save all your ancients, your voids, and sacreds, and you want to go for a guaranteed champion event. Now, they haven't done one in a while, but it does benefit you quite a bit. Now, I will say, Broadmaw, I do have all the champions, so I can fuse him. And yeah, so I can just go right through. I can fuse him. I will say I don't have the resources for it, but I can fuse him. So what I'm going to do is I will be right back to you. I'm going to fuse Broadmaw, and I'm going to get enough silver so that I can go ahead and pull some shards, and I'll let you know how many shards I'm going to pull, whether it be ancient, primals, sacreds, voids, etc. So I'll be right back. All right, y'all, so we're back, and I ended up farming from Spider and upgrading champions at the same time because we do have champion training still going on, which is coinciding with the champion chase as well, which is super helpful. Of course, I want to get the fragments here. If I can go further, then I will, but it all depends on my resources, right? Because I'm free to play. So if you're free to play, you got to make sure you're min-maxing your resources. Now, in terms of the fusion, coming back to Broadmaw. So like I said, you can complete an entire fusion just from fusing Broadmaws and Relic Keepers and potentially Lady Mikage if you have all the champions. I, for one, I'm not going to go ahead and fuse Lady Mikage at this time. Reason being is because I do want to save up for these champions right here on the bottom, and I can fuse into another Kira and another Tatsu, so I'll have additional copies. So that way I won't just lose the champions that I have and not gain them back and only gain Lady Mikage. Even though Lady Mikage is extremely powerful, not extremely, but she's very powerful, I'm not in need of her right now. I don't need her on my account. You know, she's very strong, but I just don't need her on my account. So, plus I'm not going to use her aura right now. I don't think it's necessary for me. But yeah, I just don't need her on the account. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and fuse Broadmaw. Sadly, he's 1,000,000 silver, which is kind of crazy. Isn't that how much a legendary fusion is? This is only an epic, which was weird because you saw that the epic to fuse for Lady Mikage and Lockwayne was only 300k, but they make Broadmaw 1,000,000. I think they do this on purpose so that you can utilize a lot of your resources. And then end up not having a lot of silver for maybe the artifact enhancement, for example, right? Kind of smart for them to do, but I guess it's not crazy when it comes to if you want to save your resources and min-max, it's worth it. Plus, oh, this is a void. I forgot. I forgot about that. This is a void, so he's worth 350, not 250. So what was I thinking? He's actually worth 350. Anyway, so yeah, so we're going to move on here. And what we're going to do is we're going to go on to the next part. We're going to go first to see how many points I have. I believe it's 650 points roughly between the Void Epic and the regular Epic non-Void. Okay, so we actually have 621. So 621 is not bad, which means I could pull 4 Sacred Shards, or I could pull 5 Sacred Shards and potentially get a Lego book. I do have 7 Sacred Shards. I could also potentially pull other shards as well. If I pull 4 Sacreds, it's going to be, I mean, if they all end up being epics, it's going to be end up 1,000, so I'll be at 1,600. So maybe what I'll do is I'll do 4 sacreds and then I'll do like 30 ancients if I need to do 30, because I could get a bunch of epics from ancients as well, right? So let's start here. If we end up getting super lucky and get a legendary, hopefully I get like a Lady Kimi or a Kaimar, a Harima or a Rhodos. That would be really nice. Let's do this. Come on. Give me something. We got an epic first, and it is Chancellor Yasmin. I think I've pulled this champion. She's not really that great. Meh. This is not really great. Speed in all battles is okay, but I actually don't have a Chancellor Yasmin. I've never pulled her before. Surprise, surprise. Which means I only need Ulfrig and Lady Annabelle. Oh god, that's the one that I need to dress up as. I lost a bet, y'all. Well, not a bet, but I lost the CC challenge, so I need to dress up and cosplay as Lady Annabelle, which is really sad. All right, next one. Here we go. Another epic, so that'll be number 6. The rest kind of stinks. She does have like that decreased resistance she can place, which is crazy because she would be good if they changed this to be cannot be resisted. If they change this to not being resisted, then she's a really good champion. Because she's just not good. If you have to put 500 plus accuracy on her, she's not really going to be a damage dealer, right? Unless you have insane gear. Let's go for number 3. This will be number 7. Oh, we got a legendary. Okay. Wow, we got Errol. He's new on the account. Welcome to the team, man. Wow, Errol. Krokmar is the 10x, but you know what? Errol smacks now. He hits super hard and he steals buffs. And this says grants an extra turn if the target's killed. Then he goes into this ability. I mean, Errol's pretty tanky now. Or not tanky. He's pretty strong now in general. I don't know. I think Errol's pretty strong now. He used to be really bad, so he probably doesn't have the greatest reviews. Actually, halfway decent. But he used to be not so great. They gave him a buff. This ability hits really hard now. Each hit ignores 15% of the target's defense. Don't sleep on Errol. You know, this kind of looks like Hell Hades' symbol, not going to lie. But yeah, good champion. That was 3 shards in. Let's just take a peek really quick at the tournaments again, just to see. So I'm now at 1,621. So that's not bad. We'll pull one more, and then we'll go on to the Ancient Shards. Mausoleum Mage, very strong champion. He's still pretty strong. And he does do a really good setup for Seer runs. And he also does a removal of all debuffs, is just really powerful. Good progression-based champion, very strong. So that's 4. So now we should be at, what, 1,620 plus 250, 1,820, 1,870. So hopefully we can just do like a 10 pop here. Of course, that legendary reset my Mercy. So I'm just going to document that. I am 1 Sacred Shard in until, the next time I get a legendary from Sacreds. So the pull one, get one, it's not going to be that great for me. So Ancient Shards. Let's go ahead first and pop 8. Maybe we get lucky and we pull a couple of epics in the first 8. That would be super impactful. And what I could potentially do as well is I could also pull mysteries, which I'm considering doing, to be honest with you. Mystery shards are always important to top off any tournaments or events when it comes to Champion Chase or Summon Rush. Come on, give me an epic here. Give me 1 epic. Come on. Get me lucky. Or give me a Madman. That would be cool, actually. Madman, the one that for Hydra. There's an epic. Okay, we got the Black Bear. All right. I forget which one's better, to be honest. Turn meter. Decreasing the target's turn meter by 7.5%. Each hit also has a 50% chance of putting one of the target's skills on cooldown if the target's under decreased crit rate. That's decent. That's actually decent. And he placed a decreased attack. I think the Black Bear was the one that was better, if I'm not mistaken. But I personally haven't used them. I didn't need them for Skinwalker's crypt to beat it. I use different champs. Maybe we don't have to go 30 shards. We might only have to go like 18. Maybe another 10 pop. Still no Madman, huh? At least I don't think I pulled Madman. I wasn't really paying attention to the rares, to be honest. But Madman, as you know, hits millions and millions of damage on the accounts now for against Hydra. So you kind of want to build a Madman until they nerf it. You could even build him to rank 5 level 50 and he'll still do really, really well for you. So let me just check one more time here. I know I'm going back and forth, but I want to make sure I am min-maxing my resources so I can save shards for future content. So I'm at 2191. If I just pull one more epic, then I will save the rest of my shards and I'll start pulling mysteries. Now, I could technically start pulling mysteries now if I wanted to, but I really want a Madman. So you know what? We're just going to do a solid 10 pop, and I'm pretty sure in this 10 pop, we should be good. There's 100. You know what? That's only all rares. But no Madman. Dang, no Madman. I wonder if they made it impossible to get him now. That stinks. So I'm at 22, 21, I think now. So I could just go the rest with my mysteries. Yeah, so that's what I'll do. I'll end up popping the rest with mysteries and just go from there. So was that a new champion? Yeah, so Errol was new for me, which is nice. Great addition to the account, I feel like, for a force champion for damage dealers. I don't have a ton of really strong damage dealers right now. As you guys know, if you've been watching me play Live Arena, then you know that my damage dealer for force mainly is Basilius Roanus. Chancellor Yasmin was new. And yeah, no Madman, but we're going to end up just popping a bunch of mystery shards to complete the rest of the champion chase. I just don't want to go all in for, I mean, yes, the books are great, but I just don't trust it. I'll probably get a bunch of epics here with the rest of the sacreds, and I'd rather just save up and stockpile on my sacreds and ancients for future fusions or fragment summon champions like this. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you get lucky and pull something that you really want. I'm really rooting for you. Hopefully you get lucky, crossing my fingers for you. And have a wonderful day. Have a wonderful evening. Take care.